2 hours ago.
That means that the Cardinals have voted twice this morning, and no pope has been picked.
Fox's Alex Hogan at the Vatican on day 2 of the conclave.
The Cardinals will vote 4 times per day, twice before lunch, twice after. They will eat 3 meals together, and they will have some free time to spend in their rooms or on walks, but they will have no contact with the outside world until a new pope is selected. In the last 2 conclaves, popes were picked on the second day. Pope Francis, after 5 rounds of votes.
No, he died last month. 2/3 of the Cardinals voting in secrecy will have to agree on the new pope to replace Francis, and then we'll see the white smoke. India has launched drones into Pakistan, some shot down, but 4 soldiers have been wounded. The day after an Indian attack Pakistan calls an active war it will avenge that left 31 people dead in a region of Kashmir that Pakistan controls. India says that was retaliation for a terror attack last month. We'll hear from President Trump in 2 hours announcing a trade deal with Britain. Fox's Alexandria Hoffs at the White House.
He wrote on Truth Social this morning, "It is a great honor to have the United Kingdom as our first announcement. Many other deals, which are in serious stages of negotiation, to follow." Now, this agreement is the first since the president imposed, then later paused stiff tariffs put in place on countries in the beginning of April. The UK is in a bit of a unique position because it did not fall under the reciprocal tariffs, but is subject to a 25% levy on steel, aluminum, and cars, plus that global 10% tariff that does remain.
No, 145% tariffs on Chinese imports are still in place. So is China's retaliatory charges on American exports ahead of trade talks this weekend. Because of all the tariffs, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says
the risks of higher unemployment and higher inflation appear to have risen.
But not enough for the Fed to make an interest rate cut yesterday, prompting President Trump to post on Truth Social this morning, "Jerome Powell's a fool who doesn't have a clue. Other than that, I like him very much." America's listening to Fox News.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock. For the threats you can't control, terms apply.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or ConsumerCellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
More pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University. That was last night on the New York City campus, and some of the anti-Israel demonstrators went into the main library. More than 80 students were arrested, with Columbia saying in a statement that kind of conduct will not be tolerated. Now, the Trump administration has pulled federal funding from Columbia and Harvard over protests like that, saying universities are allowing anti-Semitism to thrive on campus. Also in New York, a man is charged with assaulting Jews in 3 different protests.
Court documents say 20-year-old Tariq Bazrick lunged at a group of pro-Israel protesters, kicking one of them in the stomach while being escorted by cops. Bazrick was wearing a green headband typically worn by Hamas terrorists. 8 months later, Bazrick is accused of assaulting another Jewish student during a demonstration at a university. About a month later, he's accused of assaulting another one. Bazrick faces 3 counts of committing hate crimes. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Another loss in court for the Trump administration on strings attached to federal grants for mass transit and homelessness.
U.S. District Judge Barbara Rothstein's order puts a 14-day block on plans by President Trump to impose conditions on the grants, which are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The money is intended to address mass transit in the Seattle area and homelessness services in Boston, New York, San Francisco, and other local governments. According to the lawsuit filed last week by 8 cities and counties, the new conditions are designed to further the president's efforts to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion, pressure local officials into helping with the administration's mass deportation push, and cut off information about lawful abortions. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stocks could rise. Dow futures up more than 300 points. In the NBA playoffs, the New York Knicks rallied from down 20 again to beat the defending champion Celtics in Boston 91-90. The Knicks lead that series 2-0 out west. Oklahoma City got even, taking game 2 with Denver 149-106. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem in Springfield yesterday, she held a press conference outside the mansion of Governor Pritzker. Her office says they discussed Illinois' sanctuary policies and immigration in the state. In response to her visit, Pritzker's office responded somewhat sarcastically by releasing its own itinerary for Noem, including critical comments about several controversies involving her. A man charged in a deadly crash at a nursing home in Mattoon remains behind bars. Curtis Meadows denied pretrial release while appearing in court on multiple charges, including aggravated DUI and reckless homicide. Illinois House Education Policy Committee unanimously approving a bill to require seatbelts for all new Illinois school buses. Legislation could mandate that any school bus manufactured in the state have 3-point seatbelts starting in 2031. Sponsors say the change solely about student safety, as Democrats and Republicans want kids to come and go from school safely. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Well, happy Thursday, May 8, ESPN 93.5. Diane's back from her sojourn to St. Louis, Missouri.
So fun.
And had, they didn't let you eat, though, did they?
How many times did I go back to the buffet?
Well, there's that. Though, everybody does it. If you're in a buffet and it's that darn good.
The brat bar over there, the nacho bar over there. I mean, I did get a lot of green and vegetables, salad, green beans, things like that, too, along with the sliced pork roast, and they even had tilapia. I had some of that. It was great.
Yeah, I get
my
it.
goodness,
No,
so much food.
You can't not overeat when it's that setting. So when you're in a buffet and it's all roast beef, pasta.
Exactly.
And then you go back 17 times. You go, well, no, it wasn't. It was just 9.
Well, I didn't sample that one, so.
Pasta was good.
Exactly.
I didn't have it this year.
That's the way those things are set up on those skyboxes, right?
That's right. That's all she was skybox Diane the last 2 days.
That's right, with the St. Louis Cardinals at Busch.
They treat you well.
They do.
I don't even know who to call about the Cubs. They just had no contact with
it. They have it. No, I don't have any contacts.
Yeah.
I know you could do that there, but
right.
Yeah.
We apologize. Apparently, we didn't have the Cubs on last night. I don't know what happened. So
they lost.
No, they played yesterday afternoon.
We didn't have it on. So.
Okay.
So I apologize. Okay. We don't know.
After that debauchery the night before, that 9-inning
11th
thing
inning
on Ryan Presley. Yeah.
Well, you're playing a playoff team. The Giants are really good. Cubs are good, and I think that Central Division is like flip a coin. The Reds, the Cardinals, and the Milwaukee Brewers are 3 games behind. The Cubs are all tied, though, and it's just going to be anybody's division. Maybe not Pittsburgh, but going to be anybody's division. All right, so our meteorologist Greg Solier has jumped on, brought to you this morning by the Urbana Park District.
Reminding you at Memorial Day holiday weekend will be when the pool opens. So if you want to get your punch cards and passes or line up swim lessons or learn about the lap swim, all kinds of things regarding the pool, visit urbanaparks.org.
All right, a little cooler this morning, my friend, but still beautiful weather ahead, I think.
Yeah, with the passage of a cold front, northeasterly winds, and temperature's not bad right now. A little bit of a hint of sunshine here and there through some of the high mid-level clouds. 51 over at Willard and Savoy. Radar's got a couple little blips on it as well, up around the Penfield, Gifford area, for example, and maybe about south and west of about Georgetown, Westville there, south of Danville, and a couple of blips back west towards Capitol Airport in Springfield. So a few sprinkles can't be ruled out this morning as we get a little system coming across this boundary and kind of the northern extent of all that humidity and moisture over the southern states working on northward. But the drier air and the northeast wind flow will flush it on out. But still, again, can't rule out a stray sprinkly shower this afternoon south of Champaign. Probably looking at maybe even an isolated thunderstorm with afternoon temperatures today. A bit below average at 67. We'll freshen up the northeast wind with a partly sunny sky. And again, no big deal in anyone's gauge out of this particular system. We'll clear it off tonight, drop down to even colder lows, 38 to 42. There'll be some patchy frost into parts of Michigan and Wisconsin tomorrow morning, but no impact on crop areas. We have a little emergence going on in some of the back 40 around here. Sunshine tomorrow on 68 with a northeast wind, much lighter. Clear tomorrow night down to about 42, and here comes the big warm-up for the weekend. Sunshine, 75 Saturday, near 80 on Sunday. Weak system again, kind of cut off from the main steering currents, generates a stray shower late Monday to Tuesday, with high temperatures there in the mid to upper 70s. Warmer days, more humidity in the air. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but late next week begins the return to a wetter weather cycle around here, so get it done while you may. High temperatures later next week into the 80s. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
All righty, sir. Thank you. Off and running. Kristi Noem, Department of Homeland Security Secretary, was in Sangamon County yesterday doing a bit of a presser near the governor's mansion. You can't, it's a federal law, you cannot protect illegal criminals from ICE, but we are defying that here in this state. And Tom Homan said you can't do it, so I think they're coming after us. We'll see what ramifications that has in our state if we lose money in some way from the federal government. So you got that going for you.
Okay.
I don't know why anyone would protect somebody who raped, murdered, or abused people. They're not supposed to be here. I mean, that accident in Urbana.
Yeah.
What was that news this morning?
I mean, 3 or 4 different ways of identity, I guess.
Well, the person
security card was different.
Illegal.
Right.
All right. So from where? Guatemala?
Guatemala.
That was the deathly crash. What killed 4 girls, 4 women? Anyway, it's the one near Carl that months ago was just tragic. They were here visiting a friend for the U of I, and here comes the guy going however many miles an hour, crashed in the back of him at 1:30 in the morning, then fled to Texas. We caught him and have him in custody now. But I do not understand why you would protect a felon, a convicted criminal that's not supposed to. I don't get it. Please help me. 217-359-2255. That's the Fisher National Bank text line. Why would you not want to get rid of that person who's a criminal?
Right.
Murderer. I don't get it.
So I got the story up now about the man accused of the fatal hit and run that killed 2 women in Urbana, now charged with federal false identification crimes. 29-year-old Julio Consul Bol, a Guatemalan national, on charges of possessing false permanent resident card, possessing false social security card, false use of a passport, and making a false statement on a bank application.
Yeah, other than that, it's a pretty good guy. I mean, it's just unbelievable. This is what happened over the last 4 years. People come streaming in.
Right.
And guess what? We didn't know who they were.
And, this is the tip of the iceberg.
I mean,
many people.
Just, again, my example is take the front door off your home. Just do that. Show your unity, your solidarity, for anybody's welcome. You have to have a system, folks. You have to be able to vet people before you let them in your house. It makes no sense. I just have no understanding. You're thinking, well, they want to win elections, so they're going to bring new constituents in, and the more you flood the population of a certain state, they'll get more representative. I don't know how deep it goes, but I just know it makes no sense. There's zero common sense to allowing people in your house that you do not know who they are. Might be wonderful people. Might be Mother Teresa for all we know. But we don't know. We
don't know.
Anyway, it's just that we...
And we would know if there's a proper path.
Well, there is a proper path, but people just storm the border and we let them. Oh my gosh. Nuts. Off and running. I'm Stevie J. There's Diane Ducey.
Morning therapy underway.
You betcha. Intensive morning therapy. John Decker, bottom of the hour, who had essentially a conversation with Donald Trump in the Oval Office 2 days ago.
Okay.
He had 5 questions answered.
Okay.
Oh, let's go.
And I also had a questioner during the panel. St. Louis Cardinals treated me right. I thanked them for the hospitality before I asked my question for John Mozeliak. And, there were lots of questions. Bill DeWitt Jr. also had the mic, asking about the low attendance, asking about investing in players, asking about Memphis and some of the players. Are we developing our players properly? A little bit of the hot seat there. John Rooney, the radio personality that we hear on the games, was saying maybe we should do more to develop baseball radio-wise. Should we do more talking baseball in the off-season?
If you're not thinking you're any good, they don't want to talk baseball with you. If you sign Nolan Arenado like we did a few years ago, yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
The fact is there was no moves made. They're in a transition period. Nobody quite gets why John Mozeliak's there still this year. Let's go. We're in a hurry.
Right.
And Cardinal fans paid for the tickets. They're just not going.
I know.
So it's like whatever the attendance is, there's double that with people with tickets, but they don't want to lose their spot. Hoping the new regime next time, will make a move and do stuff. I don't know. I mean, the DeWitts could sell the Cardinals for what, $4 billion? You make a lot.
Right.
If they want to. But I just, the Cardinal fans are not going to tolerate with their feet losing. Now, they won 5 in a row now.
That's right. Let's get the Redbird recap.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. Great pitching, great speed, timely hitting. 5-0 Cardinals over the Pirates, sweeping the 3-game series.
Most exciting part of the game was Victor Scott going from first home. He did it twice, and he did it one time on a single where he's off on the pitch. Newpar lined a single into right center. Really exciting ball game, and the Cardinals pitched great. Sonny Gray set the tone.
Sonny Gray, Kyle Leahy, Chris Roycroft, a combined 4-hit shutout.
Pitching's been very good for the Cardinals, especially at home. Now the challenge is doing it on the road.
After a tough night Friday and a loss to the Mets, the Cardinals have reeled off 5 consecutive wins. They're back to 500.
Well, they sweep the Pirates, but they've also won series against some top teams that were in the playoffs last year. This team is really playing well at home.
And that included the New York Mets on the homestand. It's a travel day. Tomorrow night in Washington, Eric Fetty will face his old team, and we'll be on the air at 4:50.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
San Francisco beat the Cubs 3-1 yesterday. They'll start up a series against the New York Mets with the 6:10 start over on US 105.9 tomorrow. Kansas City beat the Chicago White Sox 2-1. White Sox 10-27 on the season. It's a 1:10 start for them.
Better than Colorado.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Colorado is the new White Sox. Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Eastern Conference has the New York Knicks on top after winning. You know, they stole the ball and then scored, and at 91-90 was the final.
Well, the Knicks were down 20, and they came back. Second time in a row, they shocked the Boston Celtics.
Way from behind.
Defending champions, I might add. So we'll see.
And then on the western side, we had Oklahoma City on top over Denver, and Golden State and Minnesota will play tonight. And kind of an assessment in the Illini Nation about Terrence Shannon Jr. for the Timberwolves and how much time he's played. And he hasn't scored yet, but he has been playing a few minutes, which is great in the postseason.
Yep.
Illinois women's golf ended up finishing up 9th, and the top 5 will move on in that NCAA tournament.
Okay, we're hosting the regional at Atkins Golf Club.
That's right,
So that'll be
on
this
the men's
weekend.
side.
Right.
And Kasparis, Yakachonis, and Will Riley on Sunday, I think, is when they get in the zone on the draft order. The NBA draft isn't until June, but they're going through the, who gets what and what is the number.
Okay, the White Sox are 10-27. The Colorado Rockies are 6-29.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, by the way, John Rooney, he's a great radio man. He credits radio for the Cardinals' 150 affiliates. Weather brought to you this morning by Kramer Siding and Roofing.
Your premier provider for home improvements. They've got a 25% savings on doors, different styles, energy efficiency. Learn more at kramersiding.com.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Central Illinois, Champaign and vicinity. And a cold front has made its presence felt across the area. A little overrunning disturbance and moisture. Generating a couple of spotty showers from Champaign on southward for the day today primarily. Otherwise, clear sailing for the end part of the week. A warm up for the weekend. Signs of an increasingly warmer, more humid, and wetter weather pattern. Once again, getting going later next week and beyond, so get it done while you may, where you can, the best you can. Partly sunny for the day-to-day, cooler, slim chance for a stray shower, could be even an isolated thunderstorm this afternoon from Champaign on southward up to 67. Clear tonight and colder lows 38 to 42. For the day tomorrow, sunny skies and 68 with a light northeast wind. Weekend forecast, sunny, milder, 75 on Saturday, highs nearing 80 on Sunday, up to 78 on Monday. Late Monday to Tuesday could be a stray shower across the area, upper 70s on Tuesday, highs climbing into the lower and middle 80s next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Showers and thunderstorms back in late next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
President Trump says he will unveil a full and comprehensive trade agreement with the United Kingdom at 10 a.m. Eastern Time today. Stock futures are higher in anticipation of progress on the trade dispute. Also, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is to meet with China's representatives in Switzerland this weekend. The Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged yesterday. President Trump this morning responded, calling Fed Chair Jerome Powell a fool who doesn't have a clue. But the president said other than that, he likes Powell very much. Toyota says U.S. tariffs will cost it an estimated $1.2 billion for April and May alone. Its earnings for the year ending in March were down from a year earlier, but higher than previously expected. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey there, it's me, Kennedy. Make sure to check out my podcast, Kennedy Saves the World. It is 5 days a week. Every week, we check in with Jimmy Fallon, bring in authors for the book club, and even treat some of your favorite Fox personalities to a very special happy hour. Download and listen at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Kennedy Saves the World. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh, Lucas wanted to buy a home, reached out to the Nate Evans Group for help. He's glad he did. He says that Nate and his team provided exceptional service, always provided prompt responses to any of his questions. Same thing happened to Edward. Edward recently worked with the Nate Evans Group to sell his home, said that they made the whole process completely seamless, and they get the houses sold quickly.
It doesn't have to be hectic. If you're ready to jump into your dream home and you still need to sell your current home, Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty can get you that immediate cash offer on your home. They'll talk about the timeline. There's flexible fees. Sell your home for the most money possible. That's the goal, right? Well, a friend you can trust in the business, each agent with so much experience and know so much about the community and are invested in our community. I see them out and about at networking events all the time and giving back to Don Moyer Boys and Girls Club and more. You can learn more about the Nate Evans Group and start packing.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to thenateevansgroup.com.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. Busey Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868. Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Sam Banks from the Champaign Rotary Club. This May 30th, join the Champaign Rotary Club for our tri-annual Action Auction at the iHotel and Conference Center. Our goal is to raise $300,000 to support reading and literacy skills for children across our community. We're partnering with Books from Breck to provide books to several organizations in Champaign-Urbana, with special guests Hope and Josh Whitman as our Service Above Self Action Auction honorees. For more information, visit champaignrotary.info.
You've heard about the doggy bag, right? From Bulldog Disposal Muhammad, a 6 cubic yard canvas bag that can be used for easy cleanup instead of a big dumpster. The one-time use bag is now available and you can save the delivery charge. Get the doggy bag at Do It Best Hardware in Champaign at 107 West Springfield. So fill up the bag, call Bulldog Disposal, have it disposed of, and you'll be organized. Go to bulldoggybag.com for all the details. That's bulldoggybag.com. Yeah, in fact, let's do a bulldoggy bag. Okay. Why don't we do that today in a Stever offer? I will give you a doggy bag. It's 6 cubic yards. Nobody knows how much that is, but it holds a lot.
Yeah.
And it'll hold way more than you expect, and you can load that sucker up, and Phil loves it.
And you've got some stuff in the garage that you're wanting to clear out, and it feels so good when you're doing the spring training to just get rid of it. Moving on down the road.
Best things are tile, wood floors, something you can't reuse for
right.
Just break it up and put it in there, and then watch the truck come with the crane.
That's it.
It's invite the neighborhood kids and just watch that thing go. Anyway, if you'd like it,
fascinating.
What I do is if you're in Champaign County, I can get it delivered to your door. Phil will deliver the bag, and you unfold it, and it keeps unfolding. You're going, how big is this thing? And it's pretty big.
Yep.
So then you put all your junk in there you just can't recycle or do anything with. It's called garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to fill it up, you have no timeline. Maybe it takes you all summer. Whatever it is. Maybe it takes a day. You just call them back and have them pick it up. It's about a $220 value. I've got one to give away.
Okay.
You will try this. You will let me know how it goes. It's called the Stever program. It is available via text today at 217-359-2255. Just text in doggy bag.
Sounds good.
I see them all over.
I do too.
Yeah, all over the place.
In fact, I think we used it last year for our Tolono Fun Day Festival at the end of June. And, you've got the trash coming in from everybody eating the corn dogs and everything else they're doing in the park when they're walking around at Westside Park. And over there in the corner by the scout cabin. And after the festival's over, just haul the trash away.
Yeah, it is kind of entertaining to watch them lift it because we don't know if it's going to break, okay? And sometimes you can load those things and they got a lot of weight in them.
Up to 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, it was what he's tested. It might be more, but he's lifted that's a ton, a literal ton.
And of course, you can text in 359-2255, the word bulldog, if you want to get in on this.
Doggy bag, bulldog.
Or whatever.
Let us know.
And then you can also, if you're thinking, I don't have time for this and I never went, or whatever the case is, you can go by the hardware store and
Do a Best has them.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like $40.
It's really a good idea.
But,
you just keep unfolding in your own right next to your garage.
Covers a lot.
Done.
Covers a lot. And then your spouse will say, when are we having that thing picked up? It's been sitting there for 6 weeks. And you're going, yeah, that's right. I got to call. So anyway, I'll pay this one, $220. I'll do it. Doggy bag to 217-359-2255. Great opportunity to get organized and feel good.
Yeah.
Okay, John Decker is next. He is the great television White House correspondent, national correspondent, and busy guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a presser today that John heard about last night. It's at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. President announcing a trade deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another big news story coming out, too. Maybe this is it. I don't know.
I sat next to two TV guys with great TV and actually mentioned Don Decker as the White House
correspondent. Dropped the name.
And they knew him.
Oh, yeah.
And then I said the word Hilton because I knew.
That's the CEO's
they
first
said,
name.
oh, Hilton Howell?
Yeah.
And I'm like.
That's Thurston Howell's great-grandson or something.
They mentioned
something like
the
that.
Gilligan Island
thing. Poor guy. He's never heard it either.
I know.
All right. We'll do the news and then come back with John Decker. Did you know Nathanielson in Chicago this morning? So we'll get the very latest from him. And Pitmaster Tim Onsott next hour after 8:30. It is 7:28.
It's great when hard work and experience are recognized. Hi, this is Ryan Heiser, President and CEO of Fisher National Bank. I am thrilled to share that Fisher National has been ranked 7th in the nation as a top lender in mortgage loans among banks with asset size of $300 million to $1 billion by our National Banking Association. This recognition is a testament to our lending team's dedication and expertise. After all, better banking experiences start with local people and local decision making. If you're in the market for a new home or considering refinancing your existing home, let our team at Fisher National Bank earn your business and trust. We offer competitive rates with low closing costs, and we locally service almost all of our loans. Come see us with all your home mortgage needs and experience the top-notch service that has earned us national recognition. Learn more at fishernational.com or stop by one of our branches today.
Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The University of Illinois Police Training Institute has been training police and correctional officers from across Illinois since 1955. 2025 marks the 70th year anniversary, making PTI one of the longest-running academies in the country. On June 28th at Willow Pond Golf Course in Rantoul, become a sponsor or register for the golf outing, with proceeds raised funding the first phase of the relocation plan. Learn more about the Willow Pond Golf Outing June 28th as you visit pti.illinois.edu.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump first teased, then confirmed the trade agreement with one of our greatest allies.
It is a great honor to have the United Kingdom as our first announcement. Many other deals, which are in serious stages of negotiation, to follow. The UK is in a bit of a unique position because it did not fall under the reciprocal tariffs, but is subject to a 25% levy on steel, aluminum, and cars, plus that global 10% tariff that does remain.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House ceremony, 10 a.m. Eastern, the Oval Office. Black smoke rising from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel.
That means that the Cardinals have voted twice this morning and no pope has been picked.
Fox's Alex Hogan in Vatican City. A cardinal must reach 2/3 of votes to become pope. As many as 2 more votes could happen today. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, a man accused of stabbing his wife in Urbana Township remains in custody. Investigators believe Rafael Magdaleno Mendoza stabbed his wife during a domestic dispute Sunday night at a home on Groot Drive. The victim sent to the hospital in stable condition. New research shows about 75% of women face at least one mental health problem by the age of 24. 2 graduate students at the University of Illinois trying to fix that, getting them help immediately with a new app called She Heal. The app is still in development. When it's released, it'll incorporate AI chatbot to help give mental health advice specifically for women. Illinois House Education Policy Committee unanimously approving a bill to require seat belts for all new Illinois school buses. Legislation could mandate that any school buses manufactured in the state have 3-point seat belts starting in the year 2031. The change solely, they say, about student safety. And that's your check of what's happening on your Thursday. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Stevie J here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to the NateEvansGroup.com.
Weather brought to you this morning with meteorologist Greg Solier by Carl.
More time in the sun means make sure you're monitoring your skin regularly and talking with your doctor if you notice any changes. You can learn more at carl.org/skin cancer.
Well, good everyone. Let's check weather. For Central Illinois, Champaign and vicinity. Cooler northeasterly wind flow. Frontal boundary down to the south. A weak disturbance along it, and perhaps a few sprinkly showers in spots from Champaign on southward for the day today. But lots of dry hours in between. A partly sunny, cooler day's worth of weather with a gusty northeast wind at 67. We'll clear it off here by this evening, and a colder overnight low down to about 40. Some upper 30s in some outlying rural areas. For the day tomorrow, sunny skies and 68 with a lighter northeast wind. Down to 42 tomorrow night. Weekend forecast into next week. Big warm-up gets going. 75 and sunshine Saturday, up near 80 on Sunday. Weak disturbance up through the Ohio could generate a stray shower late Monday to Tuesday. Readings there in the upper 70s will climb into the low to mid 80s. A pickup in humidity and the start of a much wetter weather pattern once again getting going late next weekend beyond. So get it done while you may from a fieldwork standpoint. Next Tuesday, 77 the high into the low to mid 80s, and showers and thunderstorms scattered across the area next Thursday and Friday. For CVG Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solt.
Ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, dads, boys and girls, it's Thursday. John Decker. I want to talk to John Decker. He is the one we know. I want to talk to John Decker. He's at the White House in press room.
John Decker.
Yeah, children in combines now singing the theme. Waiting for it to be on Mr. Decker's ringtone.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the national correspondent, White House correspondent for Gray Television. His name is John Decker. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm great, Stevie. Thanks for that introduction. I should put that on my ringtone. You're right, and have it go off at a White House press briefing.
That'd be
right?
perfect.
That'd be something.
Leave it on silent off mode. Okay, so you had essentially a conversation with the press on Tuesday in the Oval. Donald Trump answered 5 of your questions?
Yes. It was a good day for me, and that was the day that you may recall he met with the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, and he had 3 different events that day. And, it was a lucky day for me, and taking a lot of my questions, making some news as well in terms of the questions that I asked the president. But, I was in the pool that day, and that was the reason why, I had such great access to the president that day.
I mean, were they rat-a-tat-tat, or were they separate moments of questioning?
Well, I had at one event I had 2 or 3 questions.
Wow.
I think maybe one question with a follow-up, and the other event in the Oval Office when Steve Witkoff was sworn in as the special envoy. I got 3 questions there. One was a follow-up to a question. So yeah, that's the way
pretty
that
good,
works.
man. This is called talent, because I would be there and I'd ask my mature question, and then I'd get a follow-up, and I go, what kind of ice cream do you like? What kind of ice cream do you like?
That's the Biden question.
Oh, that's right. Darn it. I forgot. All right, so you get this access. It's really, really cool. The president goes to the Middle East. You didn't sneak on Air Force One on this one, did you?
No, so he's heading to the Middle East on Monday, I think Monday night. So he'll be away at Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. Those are the 3 stops that the president will make. He's ruled out a stop in Israel. I won't be on that trip, so I'll talk to you next Thursday. But actually, you know what? I may not be able to talk to you next Thursday. The reason, I think I will. The next Thursday is a big case at the U.S. Supreme Court. I'll be in the Supreme Court next Thursday for oral arguments that concerns birthright citizenship, Stevie. So likely when I speak to you next Thursday, I'll be talking to you from the U.S. Supreme Court.
Well, I mean, you're the only lawyer on press row, and you're the only lawyer that could actually argue as an attorney in front of the Supreme Court.
That is true.
How about that?
That is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I keep talking.
I haven't had that chance just yet.
You know what I think I might do? I might request an interview with Hilton Howell III. I think I really, because he'll talk to me when I say it's going to be a friendly about one of your stars. That'd be kind of an interesting interview. And the fact that he's Thurston Howell from Gilligan's Island's great-great-great-grandson, it's just amazing. Anyway.
I love that.
All right, so announcement today about trade deal with one of our top allies, of course. It's Great Britain, right? And so that's anything like that moving forward, because I think this whole tariff, I think that one of the problems from the people that don't like Donald Trump is everything he says they take literal, like it's going to happen today. And I don't think that tariffs have ever been serious from the standpoint of he's going to get a better deal. Read Art of the Deal in 1986. He's going to get a better deal.
Mm-hmm. Well,
what he does.
This is the first deal that he's announcing, and hopefully there are lots of other ones. And the ones that I'll be looking for in particular, Stevie, are the ones with countries that the U.S. has trade deficits.
Yeah.
So the U.K. is not one of them. We actually have a trade surplus with the U.K. But the ones that I want to see, are the deals that are announced with China. Huge trade deficit that we have with China. With India, huge trade deficit that we have with India. Those are the important ones, and we'll see what comes out of those. But this is a good start, and the president has said, and the people that speak on behalf of the president have said, that there are literally dozens of countries that have reached out to the United States to strike a trade deal with the U.S. So this is the first of hopefully many, Stevie, that we see coming out of this White House.
Okay, who would you, as a journalist, John Decker, who would you say at this moment is the spokesperson for the Democratic Party?
I do not know. I think you've asked me that before. I don't know.
Checking if you had a revelation or anything.
Hakeem Jeffries. You have Hakeem Jeffries. I pay attention to what Hakeem Jeffries, he's the leader for Democrats in the House. I pay attention to what he says, but I don't think he's the leader for the Democratic Party right now.
Is it Jasmine Crockett, AOC? Is it Bernie Sanders?
No, I pay attention though to what AOC says because she is a voice for the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, but she doesn't speak for the party as a whole. It's so difficult when you're out of power to talk about who is the leader of the party. It's difficult to think of that. When President Joe Biden was in office, who was the leader of the Republican Party? You might argue it was Donald Trump, but that there were other people out there as well. Mitch McConnell, who was then leading the Senate, but I don't think he spoke for the entire Republican Party at the time, Mitch McConnell. Okay. So difficult place that Democrats find themselves in right now.
Yeah, it really is, and the way forward of all the things he's trying to do is going to take a little time on some of this, but the fact is he's kind of doing what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail, which in my lifetime, I can't ever remember a politician, which is what he is now, but former businessman, but a guy that said, here's what I'm going to do, and then to say, remember when I told you? I don't remember the follow-up. A lot of times the guys will say something on the campaign, I never really hear about it again.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you think about the things that the president campaigned on, and here we are, we're now past that 100-day mark, and what was the big one that he campaigned on? It was border security.
Border security.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm President Trump, I'm doing a victory lap on that every day. Yeah. It's unbelievable what's happened as it relates to the U.S. border with Mexico in particular over the course of the past 100 days.
The Democrats said we can't without a law, without a big package, and you can. And he said in the debate with Kamala,
go back and proved it.
He said, go back and close it, Kamala, go back and close it, and she could have, but they didn't.
No, all of that's true. All of that's 100% true. It surprised me. You recall last week, Stevie, I traveled with the president. I was with him in Michigan to mark the 100th day in office, and that's because it was my day in the rotation. But what surprised me, I always thought that my first trip with the president of his second term was going to be to the southern border for him to take that victory lap. And surprisingly, he has not traveled to the southern border just yet as president in his second term. To me, that makes a lot of sense, to remind people of what he's accomplished in just a short amount of time since being sworn in January.
Does the resistance like we have in Illinois with Governor J.B. Pritzker, who wants to be president, saying, hey, we're protecting our people. Well, why would you protect a criminal, a convicted murderer, from being taken by ICE? I just don't understand any of that.
No, you and many people don't understand that. They don't understand, that you have Democrats out there who are doing what it is that you're saying Governor Pritzker is doing or saying. That being said, any individual that, the president wishes to deport out of the country, the Supreme Court has said that individual needs to be given notice that they're going to be deported, and they must be given an opportunity to challenge their deportation, have a hearing. So that is, complicating the president's efforts to, have this mass deportation because those individuals need to have that due process. And so, the numbers are not what the president wants them to be. You may have seen the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, announced this new program that if you are in the country illegally and you self-report and self-deport, you get $1,000.
Yeah.
$1,000, and that the government will pay for a one-way ticket to your home country. That's significantly less than the cost of arresting, detaining, and then deporting an individual. That cost is around $17,000, Stevie. Wow. So it makes a lot of sense that, if indeed a lot of people take the U.S. up on this offer.
Well, I think there are people self-deporting, aren't there?
I don't know. It's a great question that I haven't gotten an answer. As of last week, there was a grand total of one individual that had done that. An individual who self-reported and self-deported to Honduras. But I don't know if since that announcement from DHS, there's been a large number of individuals who've taken advantage of this $1,000 payment that the U.S. government will provide to them once they've self-deported.
All right, it's John Decker, Gray Television, outstanding journalist with Gray Television, over 120 stations, I think the count, 125 television stations. John knows every anchor's name, just every darn time. All right, so the Pope, Rome, the incredible event that's going on, two black smokes today, three black smokes total. That means no Pope selected. Everybody wants to know the score. Well, we don't have any idea what's happening.
Right. We don't. Well, now you're asking me to weigh in on the John Clave. And that's
there you go.
There you go. This is when all the Cardinals get together that are eligible to vote. 133 votes. You got to get 89. 89. Mike Ditka's old number. You got to get 2/3. Yeah. And they are going to discuss. And what happens is, what I understand, based on the reporting, is that you can get a guy kind of far left, you can get a guy kind of far right, and then they end up with like a guy kind of in the middle that wasn't even in the first vote. And all of a sudden they kind of draft him. And they say if you go in as a Pope, you're coming out as a Cardinal. You can't want this. You got to be kind of talked into this kind of thing. The Holy Spirit is supposed to lead them, and we pray they do.
Yes.
It does.
And this, what's amazing about this, Stevie, this process has gone on for hundreds of years. It's the same process, and the same process of letting the world know once they've chosen a new pope, with the white smoke coming up from the Vatican. So, it's really fascinating to see how this is all playing out. It's a real political campaign, wow. That we're seeing playing out right now.
Yeah, we're not supposed to campaign for that, though, are you? I mean, they're not.
It makes you wonder. They're at lunch
they're
now.
Human. They're human.
If they are talking amongst each other, hey, who'd you vote? I mean, I did it in the cafeteria in high school.
The student council. That was student council.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, this is the Pope. This is a big deal. We ought to all pray they pick the right person. So,
does anybody have like a campaign, like make the Vatican great again,
That's right.
Something like that,
right? Red cap, make the Vatican great again.
I saw a headline, Pope Fiction, and it talks about all the things that the media is saying that is really not true, and they're reaching on all of this.
Nobody knows. They're sequestered, no cell phone.
Sworn to secrecy.
They don't know anything's going on out here. They have no idea what's going on, and we don't know what's going on there. And they're, of course, betting on the next Pope. They have that window open, so you can't actually. It's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
What would you know about that?
I'm staying out of that.
No, right. I mean, it's. We will see who comes out, wears the white, goes on the balcony, and there's hundreds of thousands of people in St. Peter's Square. By the way, last thing on the Pope, who's the longest-serving Pope, John Decker?
Gosh, I don't know the answer to that.
I'll give you a clue. He denied Jesus 3 times. It's Peter. Peter's the longest serving Pope. It's 37 years for Peter. And then he said, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy to be crucified like Christ, so crucify me upside down. That was St. Peter. So just for trivia people, that goes back a few years.
Thanks for giving me that trivia. I'm going to throw that trivia out later today. That's good.
That's a long time ago, but that's 2,000 years. 2,000 years we've been kind of, and in the 13th century, it took 3 years to pick the Pope. 3.
Wow.
Right.
Well, they say 45,000 people were present yesterday for the first round of voting. And, of course, the chances of getting a first round and seeing the white smoke, I mean, what were the odds on that?
No, not very. It doesn't happen in hundreds of years. They haven't picked somebody in the first ballot. All right, so John Decker, what is your schedule? How do you even know? You heard about this Great Britain press conference last night on Truth Social, was it? So you have to always be on just in case, right?
I do. Yeah, it's just a very busy time every day there's an event at the White House, and even when there's not an event, you don't know what's going to be added or subtracted from the schedule. But this was added to the schedule, so that's my story for the day, talking about this deal that the U.S. has cut with the UK. The UK has a trade deficit with the United States, so maybe this deal will work out in their favor, so to speak. We'll have to wait and see.
So what's the big story that Donald Trump mentioned? Is it the Abraham Accords or Saudi Arabia? What do we got coming down the pipe here?
That's a good question. So he spoke about making the announcement either today, tomorrow, or before he leaves on Monday. Could this be is that what he's referring to? I don't know.
Big enough.
I always thought it was going to be a trade deal.
Okay.
And to me, I know that there have been ongoing talks between the U.S. and India, so maybe that's the big trade deal that he was referencing before he leaves. I think it's going to be a trade deal. I don't think it's going to be anything related to a trouble spot in the world, Ukraine or anything related to Israel's war against Hamas. But that's just pure speculation.
I'm taking a leap on something big in as far as Saudi Arabia helping with peace in the Middle East. That's because I think that would be potentially transformational. But it just sounded like really something big. So we'll see what he says.
It would be.
Yeah.
Or if Israel and Saudi Arabia establish normalized relations with each other, that would be a big deal, right? That would be huge.
Big deal.
We'll see.
I mean, we've had issues there for thousands of years. Okay, so we will keep track of you, John Decker. Keep up your fine work and reporting. We need you out there with a voice of truth, and because I'm telling you, we're struggling finding out what's fact and what's not fact, and that just kind of continues on. But we need information. You, sir, provide.
That's what I am providing it to you. I am providing it to everybody in your listening audience, and I try to do that when we speak every week. And by the way, Stevie, I shared this with you, but I'm so proud of it. I learned last Sunday that I was nominated for an Emmy Award.
How about that?
I'm so excited about that. And I find out at a ceremony that will take place on June the 14th on Flag Day. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I couldn't be more proud of that.
Well, congratulations. It's an outstanding piece. It really is. But I think it's crazy. The guy's name is like George Soros. What the
Right.
What the heck?
Spelled differently.
S-A-R-R-O-S.
Yeah, it's spelled differently, but everyone, George Soros. Why are you doing it? Anyway, congratulations. That's a great honor. I hope you win that Emmy. You deserve
I
it.
appreciate
Really
that.
good piece.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But, look, I think that just to be nominated is a huge deal, and I'm so happy about that.
I've never
Remembering D-Day 80 years later.
Is it online? It has to be online. So some people go watch that.
Oh, yeah, it's online. Yeah. Absolutely.
George really liked you, by the way. He really liked you.
Yeah, he did. Well, I was down for his 100th birthday just the other week. My wife and I went down to Asheville, North Carolina. Brought him a letter from President Donald Trump congratulating him on his 100th birthday. So that was a huge deal.
A big
George
deal.
loved that.
Yeah.
Good job, John.
John Decker, citizen, humanity, great reporter.
Honoring our veterans.
Keep it going, my friend. We'll call you next week. And if you get unavailable, just let us know.
No, I'll be available, but I'll be talking to you from the U.S. Supreme Court. That's a big case, that birthright citizenship. So we'll be talking next week from there for sure.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it very much. John Decker, live near Washington, D.C., or in Washington, D.C., rather, just miles from the White House, where he works every day. Let's check your weather. Brought to you this morning by Busey for over 155 years. Member FDIC.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. And a cold front has made its presence felt across the area. A little overrunning disturbance and moisture, generating a couple of spotty showers from Champaign on southward for the day today primarily. Otherwise, clear sailing for the end part of the week. A warm up for the weekend. Signs of an increasingly warmer, more humid, and wetter weather pattern once again getting going later next week and beyond. So get it done while you may, where you can, the best you can. Partly sunny for the day today, cooler. Slim chance for a stray shower. Could be even an isolated thunderstorm this afternoon. From Champaign on southward up to 67. Clear tonight and colder lows 38 to 42. For the day tomorrow, sunny skies and 68 with a light northeast wind. Weekend forecast, sunny, milder 75 on Saturday. Highs nearing 80 on Sunday. Up to 78 on Monday. Late Monday to Tuesday could be a stray shower across the area. Upper 70s on Tuesday. Highs climbing into the lower and middle 80s next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Showers and thunderstorms back in late next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Greg Solgay.
Nate Evans at the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty. If someone wants to build their dream home, how can you help them find that perfect property?
Yeah, these are getting tougher and tougher every year. Everybody's looking for specific properties. Maybe it's high character. Maybe there's woods, trees, water, pond, lake. The more that Champaign continues to grow, and some of our river town communities offer some of them high character lands, a lot tougher it is to come across these. We have found a huge network of potential sellers and landowners that have told us, hey, if the number makes sense, we'd be willing to sell. And that doesn't always have to be obnoxious. A lot of times that's just timing. We've also found a lot of these parcels, if we get enough demand, that they're willing to chop up and we can subdivide again. I think working with somebody that's familiar and been a part of a lot of these residential subdivision developments, such as ourselves, they'll be aware of the opportunities and the land opportunities for those buyers and be able to partner with the appropriate builders based on their budgets.
You can reach out at Nate Evans Group and start packing.
Ever wonder why you pay your bank to have a checking account? Fisher National Bank does too. You see, they offer free rewards cashback checking that gives you cash back on debit purchases, no service fees or balance requirements. Simply make 12 debit card purchases, receive electronic statements, and have one direct deposit in a monthly cycle. It's so simple. Reward yourself today with rewards cashback checking. Learn more at any branch or FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
I just don't want to do any more radio. I just want to watch Josephine, my granddaughter, on this video that Mama just sent, her playing with her dog Tilly. She's so aware, Nathaniel's son. She's so aware. She knows what's
she's. I think we're very lucky. She's growing and developing well, and she's starting to reach and grab, and
Now Stevie's showing it to me.
She's so...
And so I'm getting into my baby voice. Oh.
No, look at this little thing. It was last night. She's just...
So sweet,
having
taking
a
her
little bath there.
Mhm.
Anyway, they're just a beautiful... She's coming up on 4 months. Gotta be kidding.
Next week, she'll be 4 months.
All right, this is my son, Nathaniel's son, in Chicago. He does a feature called Did You Know? We always learn something from Did You Know? And what do you got today, son?
Well, this morning, in honor of our upcoming holiday this Sunday, we're going to talk about the history of Mother's Day. Now, obviously, mothers in and of themselves, the history is self-explanatory. They've been around for as long as humans have been around. Yes. But specifically, this holiday that we celebrate, it formally started in 1914. But to get the story, we actually need to go a little further back, and it's actually one that's a little bit more somber of a story rather than celebratory. So it started with a woman by the name of Mrs. Jarvis, who lived in the 19th century. She lived approximately 1840 to 1905. She lived in West Virginia. She had 13 children. But at this time, and in this particular area of the region, it wasn't uncommon that many of the children would pass away. In fact, the number was closer to 15 to 30% of infants in the Appalachian Mountains would die before they were even 1 year old. So Mrs. Jarvis had 13 children, but only 4 survived to adulthood. By the time she was pregnant with her 6th child, she wanted to try to change what was going on. Most of the children were dying from what might be considered common diseases now, but it was mostly due to poor sanitary conditions. So she enlisted the help of a local doctor and got some other moms around herself, and they started putting on these clinics to educate moms and families with doctors on proper hygiene and ways to keep their kids healthy. They called these events Mother's Day work clubs. And these events continued for some time until she passed away in 1905, at which point her daughter, by the name of Anna Jarvis, worked to continue the tradition her mother started. A couple years later, in 1908, Anna Jarvis sent 500 white carnations to their church in their hometown in West Virginia, and this was actually considered to be the first Mother's Day. Now, societally, around this time, women were also starting to get jobs and transition more to roles outside the home, so their recognition was becoming more widespread. And so then in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed a proclamation declaring that the second Sunday in May was going to be Mother's Day. Now, obviously, our current Mother's Day is a far stretch from educating moms about sanitary conditions, but it is important to recognize that moms have worked and fought tooth and nail to keep their kids healthy and safe.
Well, it's hard to know how many lives Mrs. Jarvis saved by doing all that, right? I mean, an impact for generations if you keep the kids going and healthy and happy. And that's a great, you got a great mom, Nathaniel. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, gosh. No, I know that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm so appreciative that she's here and doing such a great job. For just
and then
us getting to celebrate our first Mother's Day too.
Yes, that's right. Your first Mother's Day, if you don't count Tilly the dog, your first Mother's Day with a baby, a beautiful baby. Right. Anyway, pretty cool. Good stuff, Nathaniel's son. Well done.
All right, guys. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank
you
you.
bet. Thank
That's
you so
awesome.
much. If you're blessed to have a mother still with you, make sure you remember Diane and the Anderson home.
Yes.
You will have a great Mother's Day.
And my daughter Anna celebrating a birthday tomorrow. So that's always around Mother's Day, and that's a joy to celebrate her and my kids.
You bet. It's awesome. What a blessing. Okay, we're going to break for the news. Our Stever offer is I'm handing out to somebody a doggy bag. That's where you can get rid of all your junk. And I'll pay for it all. It's like $220. I'll get you the bag delivered to your home. I will get it picked up when you're done, and I'll pay for it. That's Bulldog Disposal out of Muhammad Phil Van Swal. It's text in doggy bag 217-359-2255. The news is coming up.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
After all the tariffs, a deal. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's a trade agreement with Britain. President Trump will detail it next hour. After posting on Truth Social, it's a full and comprehensive deal with the UK, cementing our relationship.
The president sees this as the first of many deals to come.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House.
The agreement is the first since the president imposed and then later paused stiff tariffs put in place on countries at the beginning of April. The UK is subject to 25% levies on steel, aluminum, and cars, and does fall under that 10% global tariff. Right now, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Rep Jameson Greer are preparing to arrive in Switzerland, where tense trade talks with China are expected to happen there. Tariffs on China remain at 145%.
There's concern those tariffs could lead to inflation and hurt the economy. Yet the Federal Reserve decided against making an interest rate cut like the president wanted yesterday. So on Truth Social, a Trump post this morning called Fed Chairman Jerome Powell a fool who doesn't have a clue. It happened to Colombia again. And that anti-Israel protest last night escalated when some of the pro-Palestinian demonstrators moved into the main library on the university's New York City campus. Police came in, arrested more than 80 students. Acting Columbia President Claire Shipman says,
these actions not only represented a violation of university policies, but they also posed a serious risk to our students and campus safety.
Black smoke rose again this morning at the Vatican, where thousands are gathered waiting for a new pope to be picked.
I was born and raised Catholic, so this is like a huge event for me. We keep calling it the Catholic Super Bowl.
It's crazy. You can feel the energy. There's a ton of people here, and yeah, it's wild.
Now, the black smoke this morning meant another 2 rounds of voting without the 2/3 consensus needed at the conclave, where 133 cardinals remain locked inside the Sistine Chapel, sworn to secrecy. They'll vote twice more today. Whenever they do select a replacement for Pope Francis, weeks after he died, white smoke will come out of the chimney. America's listening to Fox News.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock. For the threats you can't control, terms apply.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The tension grows between bitter nuclear-armed rivals India and Pakistan.
The U.S. Consulate General in Lahore, Pakistan, has directed its staff to shelter in place amid reports of drone explosions, downed drones, and possible airspace incursions. Pakistan saying it shot down 25 drones from India in its airspace, and that India's attack drones have wounded 4 soldiers a day after missiles struck several locations and killed more than 24 people. India India says it's neutralized Pakistan's attempt to engage military targets using drones and missiles. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
As President Trump keeps pushing for the U.S. to take over Greenland from Denmark.
The Danish foreign minister told reporters he's read a Wall Street Journal story that says Washington ordered U.S. intelligence agencies to step up spying on Greenland. He said, it worries me greatly because we do not spy on friends. So he's calling in the acting U.S. ambassador to confirm that report. A National Security Council spokesperson has said President Trump is very clear that the U.S. is concerned about the security of Greenland. Jill Nato, Fox News.
We just got an update on unemployment this morning. First-time claims dropped last week by 13,000, down to 228,000. The number of Americans continuing to collect jobless benefits also declined by 29,000 to about 1.88 million. On Wall Street, stocks could make big gains the second day. Dow futures are up more than 200 points. Another dramatic finish in the NBA playoffs as the defending champion Celtics blow another big lead.
Tatum maneuvering. Oh, the ball knocked away. Another great defensive play for the Knicks. They've got it. They've won it. New York has gone up 2 games to none.
The Knicks rallied from down 20 again to beat the Celtics 91-90 on TNT. Out west, a blowout. Oklahoma City got even with Denver, taking game 2 149-106. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois House Education Policy Committee unanimously approving a bill to require seatbelts for all new Illinois school buses. Legislation could mandate that any school bus manufactured in the state have 3-point seatbelts starting in 2031. Sponsors say the change solely about student safety, as Democrats and Republicans want kids to come and go from school safely. Well, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem in Springfield yesterday. She held a press conference outside the mansion of Governor Pritzker. Her office says they discussed Illinois' sanctuary policies and immigration in the state. In response to her visit, Pritzker's office responded somewhat sarcastically by releasing its own itinerary for Noem, including critical comments about several controversies involving her. A man charged in a deadly crash at a nursing home in Mattoon remains behind bars. Curtis Meadows denied pretrial release while appearing in court on multiple charges, including aggravated DUI and reckless homicide. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Yeah, apparently they burned the ballots.
Yep. To get the black smoke or white smoke.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought, but apparently not. They have pyrotechnics now.
Oh, wow.
They have the, whatever they have machine that will produce it, because you can't goof. I thought that was going to burn white. No, it burns black. I mean, you can't have that. So yeah, I don't know how you.
It's an ad, isn't it? An additive they put it in to make it white smoke.
But maybe that was back in the day. Now they've got to make sure they get it right.
It's just again, I've been to the Sistine Chapel. I've looked at the window where the pipe comes out, and I'm looking up there going, "That's not very complicated. It's just open the window,
right?
And then you got to put your little stovepipe thing out." But that's not.
I didn't even know they put the pipe in the rooftop there. I thought that was there permanently.
I
had guys installing that a few days ago.
It's just I looked over there and it's not even a very big window. And all I'm thinking about, well, there's no ladder that tall, so that it's Sistine Chapel's what we determine 30 feet up or something,
right.
40 feet, pretty high. So you need scaffolding, I presume, if you want to go do that. And then they just push a button now. It's a pyrotechnics thing that make sure it's marked black or white. I don't know.
I mean, technically speaking, you are doing it numerous times, so
maybe it's a more green approach.
The logistics of it all. In the old days, maybe the Cardinals are surrounded all blown on it because they didn't have pyrotechnics except maybe in the last 50 to 100 years.
See how naive I am? I'm thinking they're doing this for 2,000 years. In reality, now it's just, modern day 2025.
It's the same process. It's just they got tools, just like, we have matches to start your campfire versus sticks. So we've evolved a little bit. So,
sure.
But so it's fine. It doesn't matter. We just got to send the message. But the fact that all cell phones are checked in and no outside anything, they don't, they don't even allow food to come in.
Well, you're not going to eat in the Sistine Chapel. I mean, you got to go out to a lunch place, a room someplace.
I mean, the Vatican's big enough. I'm sure they've got accommodations for 133 cardinals. But
they're sequestered.
But why don't they allow food in? The answer?
To the chapel?
No, they don't allow food in. They can't cater. It's in-house.
Like Uber.
Yeah.
Like Uber.
Right. There's no
Uber Eats.
You can't do Uber Eats at the Vatican. for the conclave because they're afraid some vendor will send a message to a cardinal.
Yeah.
I see.
It's pretty interesting, actually.
And that's why no one was elected yesterday, because then it would look like they were already talking about it, you know. So they got to give it some lag here. So.
I don't know. Somebody smarter than me can tell me why Pope Francis didn't gather everybody more often, which I thought was the custom. So these cardinals came in not knowing anybody. It was like,
I think it's like a regional thing they do. Each year, this part of the world comes in. Next year, it's this part of the world. So yeah, you're right. They don't all know each other.
I thought they did. So they were all meeting each other for the first time, and then they all had a chance to speak as to what they thought was needed. And so I think there's definitely a liberal side and there's definitely a conservative side, and they probably will end up with somebody that is deemed kind of in the middle and fairly moderate to bring people together. I don't think the church wants, conflict. You want to love people, bring them together.
I think you need to be a combination. You got to be a statesman. You got to be a theologian. You have to wear a lot of hats these days.
Yeah,
to
you
keep everybody
do.
happy.
And you teach the Word of God and the teachings of Jesus Christ, and they praying to the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit hopefully guides them to pick the right person, because they say God knows who it is. You're just deciding whether you can figure that out. Whether you can figure that out as a cardinal. And by the way, you don't have to be a cardinal to be pope. It's been hundreds of years, but they can bring up somebody else. I think
they can bring up a bishop. A priest. Well, you got to be a bishop to get to
archbishop.
I think you can be a priest, but then you have to be elevated to Monsignor, which you can do in the same motion.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can be Monsignor to Pope. That's what I understand. Anyway,
did you have a Monsignor on a few last week
Mark
or the week before?
Yeah, fabulous.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You talked to the next.
Yeah, he said no, thank you. So anyway,
that's right.
Our weather brought to you this morning by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Kurt and State Farm are there. Meteorologist Greg Solier with a pretty darn summery thing coming our way, huh?
Yeah, I got a couple of priest friends that don't want anything more than just being a priest. They're happy doing that, so I hear them. And anyway, it's kind of a not bad morning out there. Temperatures a little north of the 50-degree mark. A couple little blips in from time to time. We're getting a radar return out towards Mahomet and Penfield, for example. A couple of sprinkles of rain, a brief light shower, and we got a little system kind of traversing the north end of a cool front that's come through the area, and that'll keep temperatures for the day today with that northeast wind flow and a partly sunny sky a little bit in check and below average at about 67. And nickel and dime chance. It's iffy and spotty at best for a couple of these sprinkly showers around this morning. Might even be a clap of thunder south of Champaign later on this afternoon. Otherwise, we cleared off tonight in the cooler, drier air, 38 to 42. So a chilly start tomorrow. Sunny skies and 68, 75. It's a warmer Saturday. Mom's Day, nothing better than the best. Up near 80, mostly sunny. Got a shower threat late Monday to Tuesday. Should be able to work and play and plow through it at mid to upper 70s for highs there. Warmer, more humid, a summery feel, but we start the wet weather pattern again, initially in scattered coverage. Nothing Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday, there's rain back in the forecast late next week with high temperatures the second half of next week into the low to mid 80s. First TVJ broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, how'd they do this 1,000 years ago without X, without Facebook, without live television?
Communicate who got next on our Pope. Well, and it talks about, in an article I was searching about, when you mentioned pyrotechnic chemistry drives the Vatican's recipe for black and white smoke used to announce the papal election outcomes. Yeah. So it talks about the essentially chemistry behind getting the black smoke and getting the white smoke in this article that I pulled up. But it said it really didn't start. The colored smoke signals didn't come into use until 1903.
Fairly modern. 1,000 years ago, around the year 1025, the process for selecting and announcing a new pope, very different from today's structured system. Number one, local proclamation in Rome. Once a new pope was elected, often by a mix of Roman clergy and nobility, later increasingly by the cardinals, the decision would first be announced locally in Rome, typically from church steps or through public procession. Number two, messengers and envoys, like, I don't know, Paul Revere or something. Since there were no printing press, telegraph, no radio, no television, no social media, the church relied on couriers, messengers, and envoys to spread the news. The Pope would issue papal bulls or other form letters sealed with lead bulla seal, informing rulers, bishops, and major abbots of the election. News often spread through a network of monasteries, diocesan centers, and cathedrals, which served as communication hubs. In summary, the Vatican, through the centralized Vatican City, didn't yet exist as we know it. It used a combination of public declarations in Rome, traveling messengers, and formal sealed letters. How long would the letter take?
Right.
By the way, the post office is going up again. How much is a first-class stamp now?
75 cents?
73. So you're ready for the increase. Probably 75.
Okay.
It's still...
You just a freedom stamp or whatever, and you're covered.
Well,
right?
what you ought to do, we should have done it when it was a dime. We should have bought 1,000. I don't know if they had forever stamps when they were dime, but I mean, right now, if you buy 1,000, 73-cent stamps over the course of the next 10 years, you'll be good. You'll save pennies anyway. Okay, let's jump to our morning sports. It is 8:15, ESPN 93.5. Cardinals have won 5 in a row.
Yeah, 5-0, blanking the Pirates yesterday, and he was on our Redbird
Victor Scott.
Yeah, Cardinal Caravan, and I feel like you called him Wheels because he was known in minor league baseball for being so fast.
I think he can fly, and there's an example 2 times yesterday of Victor Scott using his speed.
The extra step and a lean, and there he goes, and there's a hard hit ball, base hit into right center. Scott rounds second base. He's headed for third, and he's thinking about scoring. They're going to have a play at the plate. He is safe at the plate. He scored from first base on a single to right center.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to score on that one. Incredible speed by Vic, but yeah, he continues to show why he belongs here.
What an exciting play that was.
As soon as I saw him waving me home, that's when I just turned into another gear and put one on the board for us.
Victor Scott doesn't go. The pitch is swung on and hit inside the third base bag down the left field line. The ball hits the sidewall. Here's Scott being waved around again. Bam, up with the ball. The throw in. They won't get it. Scott scores all the way from first on a double by Wynn. 3-0 Cardinals. That is so exciting.
Crazy. I think that's the first time I've ever scored from first twice in a game.
Well, there's a famous Cardinal play back in the day. Enos Slaughter scored a big World Series run all the way from first on a single. You don't generally score on a single. Maybe you go to third base, but you never score. A single is just one base for a hitter. But how did he get all the way around? Well, it was a hit and run, meaning he started running before the pitch. So he had a great start, and then he's super fast, and then the ball must have been a little bit in the gap and backhanded or something by the outfield. Anyway, he's that fast. Play at the plate, and Victor Scott scored from first on a base hit. That's amazing.
Man, good game yesterday. And so now we'll gear up for a series against the Nationals. It'll start at 5:45 tomorrow here on ESPN 93.5. San Francisco over the Cubs 3-1 yesterday, and now they'll gear up for a series starting at 6:40 against the New York Mets, her over on US 105.9. And Kansas City over the Chicago White Sox 2-1 yesterday. When we talk about NBA playoffs in the Eastern Conference, the Knicks are up 2-0 now after a 91-90 win over the Boston Celtics. What an exciting finish. Again, This is like it's happened before like this. And Oklahoma City beat Denver. Now we'll have see if Terrence Shannon Jr. gets any more playing time as Minnesota and Golden State will play tonight. Speaking of Golden State, that MRI on Steph Curry's hamstring does involve a mild strain. So I'm not sure.
Out a week.
You think so?
They said out
that
a week.
Long?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Brandon Podzinski will start. That was the kid that was at Illinois.
Uh-huh.
Didn't play much as a freshman, averaged 36 points a game up in Wisconsin in high school, and then went out to like Santa Clara and played every day and went nuts and became the 5th pick of the NBA draft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And speaking of determining your number on the draft and the rankings and all of that, that kind of lottery is coming our way Sunday. So we'll find out how Will Riley and Kasparas Yakachonis will do.
Let me check Greg's weather one more time. Let me hear that. It's going to be cooler, but now sunny and hot-ish this weekend. Stand by.
Hey, where are you headed?
To Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola.
What do they have there?
What don't they have there? Living room furniture, benches, chests, love seats, sectionals, tables, bedroom sets, hutches, nightstands, end tables, cabinets, mirrors, stools, clocks, lamps, pillows, rugs, desks, media consoles, patio furniture, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more.
So, everything.
Yeah, probably could have just said that.
Kelsey Furniture, quality for less.
Urbana's Market at the Square has been cultivating a vibrant scene in CU since 1979. Get to know your farmers bringing locally harvested honey, crafts, jewelry, art, fresh cut flowers, plus produce including fresh leafy greens and root vegetables, fresh baked treats, and a wide selection of proteins. Going on now, every Saturday, 7 a.m. till noon, rain or shine at Illinois and Vine, it's Urbana Market at the Square. Find Urbana Market on Facebook or urbanamarket.org.
Well, good everyone. Let's check weather. Free Central Illinois, Champaign vicinity. Cooler northeasterly wind flow. Frontal boundary down to the south. A weak disturbance along it, and perhaps a few sprinkly showers in spots from Champaign on southward for the day today. But lots of dry hours in between. A partly sunny, cooler day's worth of weather with a gusty northeast wind at 67. We'll clear it off here by this evening, and a colder overnight low down to about 40. Some upper 30s in some outlying rural areas. For the day tomorrow, sunny skies and 68 with a lighter northeast wind. Down to 42 tomorrow night. Weekend forecast into next week. Big warm-up gets going. 75 and sunshine Saturday, up near 80 on Sunday. Weak disturbance up through the Ohio could generate a stray shower late Monday to Tuesday. Readings there in the upper 70s will climb into the low to mid 80s, a pickup in humidity, and the start of a much wetter weather pattern once again getting going late next weekend beyond, so get it done while you may from a fieldwork standpoint. Next Tuesday, 77 the high, into the low to mid 80s, and showers and thunderstorms scattered across the area next Thursday and Friday. For CVG Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The number of people filing for unemployment benefits for the first time declined by 29,000 last week to 228,000. Economists were predicting a slightly higher number at 230,000. Those remaining on benefits in the most recent reading for the week ending April 26th also declined to 1.87 million. It's a sign that despite uncertainty over trade policy, companies are mostly holding on to their workforce and are not conducting significant layoffs. Stock futures are higher, with the U.S. and Britain expected to reveal a trade deal. Krispy Kreme reported disappointing earnings this morning. It is citing a slowing economy. It is also suspending its dividend and is not planning to expand its relationship, providing breakfast donuts to McDonald's. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
It's the Will Kane Podcast.
I think this long-term play is an attempt to reorganize the global economy, to arrest the fall of the American empire. I don't know whether or not it will work or whether or not it will fail, but I do know that the path that we were on, even if in the short term the economy looked good, the path that we were on has been a path that is well trod by many empires before us, and we might want to try to reposition or arrest that fall and sustain the American empire.
Get the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcast.
Fighting Illini fans, your Illinois football team is coming off a 10-win season as Citrus Bowl champs. This fall, Illinois returns 18 starters from the Citrus Bowl victory, including star quarterback Luke Altmaier for a third straight season. Led by head coach Brett Bielema, the Fighting Illini are listed on nearly every major top 25 ranking for the 2025 season. Stay up to date on all things Fighting Illini football at fightingillini.com. We can't wait to see you back in Memorial Stadium this fall.
It's kind of random here. I saw a clip of Jay Leno talking about Jimmy Kimmel being on a show and embarrassing him on his own show. Kimmel embarrassing Jay Leno. Here's how that sounded many years ago.
Known for pranks. What's the best prank you ever pulled?
I think the best prank I ever pulled was I told a guy that 5 years from now, I'm going to give you my show. And then when the 5 years came, I gave it to him, and then I took it back almost instantly.
Wow. Right, so that's a reference to Conan O'Brien was supposed to get the Leno's show, and it didn't, and Jay changed his mind or something.
It was hilarious. Ever order anything off the TV?
Like NBC ordered your show off the TV?
Yeah. I mean, he just embarrassed Jay.
Oh, wow.
And it just... Jay Leno's a really good guy.
Yeah.
I met him in the late 80s, and then I interviewed him, and I don't know, whenever he was first up for an Emmy, I interviewed Jay Leno. I'll tell you about that in a second. But here's Jay Leno talking about the Kimmel embarrassment.
Yeah, you know, everybody makes a big deal. You know, when Kimmel came on my show and humiliated me in my own show, I let it happen. I didn't edit it. It was my mistake. I trusted somebody. I went, I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. Okay, I should pay the price. And it's fine. It's fine. I mean, we could have edited it out of the show.
Why didn't you?
Well, because it happened. It's real. It happened. It's my mistake. That's how you learn. You know?
Did you view it as a mistake, or is that good TV?
Well, it's not good TV for me because it started a whole thing that continues to this day, really. But it's okay. It's all right. I mean, he's a comic. You do what you got to do. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't have done it, but that's okay. That's all right. It's okay. It is what it is. It's better than saying, spend the rest of my life. So what really happened on that show? You know, you can take a look and see.
Yeah. Jay Leno, anyway,
he's gotten Emmys from 93 through 2005.
Well, it must have been 1993.
Okay.
Is when I interviewed
Early
him.
on. That was
I was the first interview after he found out about it.
Okay.
And I mentioned that to him. And I said, yeah, I saw it last night, Jay. And I was in the room by myself. And I'm going, go, Jay. And he said, what a sad life. I see you with your TV tray. Go, Jay. Go, Jay. It's really funny. And the late, great Gary O'Brien cornered him in a ride back to Willard to do his answering machine.
Yes.
Back in the day, kids, there used to be something that recorded messages at your house called an answering machine.
Uh-huh.
And so, hey, Gary's bothered me, and he's not home. So, but he's and the first time I met him was backstage when he was with Emo Phillips and Yakov Smirnoff.
Yes.
And Jay Leno. That was in the 80s, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
And he said, hey, thanks for coming to the show. Just a nice car. By all accounts, he's a car guy. And he was a terrific person. And so, Jimmy Kimmel's a leftist. There's 340 million people in this country, and like 2 million watch Jimmy Kimmel. He's not very many. And yet, it's these people that feel this self-importance. Johnny Carson was once asked, why aren't you chiming in? He said, I'm a comedian.
Right.
I don't talk about those issues because that's not what I do. And Mike Wallace said, well, shouldn't you chime in? No, I'm a comedian. I entertain people.
Mm-hmm.
It is just knowing your spot. Now, some of these comedians have turned off half the country at least.
I know it.
You're not going to watch that if they're, always constantly pounding on the Republican. Michael Jordan
particularly Colbert.
Michael Jordan famously once said Republicans and Democrats both buy shoes.
Yeah.
So why would I turn anybody off? That's the smart play there.
And it's kind of what you expect in the monologue from Stephen Colbert, a bunch of hits on Trump.
All hits. And so obviously I've never seen the show. The only time I see things like The View is on Fox when they replay stuff. Has anybody watched The View? You've got to be so far. You have to be J.B. Pritzker left to be entertained or support that.
Right.
It's a very skewed far left presentation. Humor, everything else is not where America is.
I mean, been around since '97, so they say season 28.
Well,
quick online search for The View.
Back when Barbara Walters, and that was actually a pretty decent show when she was kind of leading that up. But now it's just the leftist kind of, not reasonable.
Right.
Getting Kamala Harris on, but you've done anything different than Joe? No, I can't think of anything. They're going, oh, don't say that.
Right.
You have to say, well, I'd have done X, Y, Z. Do something else. And Joe Biden did his interview with BBC. I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't think you ought to be out there, fella.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes you just have to pass.
Sometimes you just kind of have to say, hey, I did my thing. I served my country. As Dana Perino said from Fox, she said, if you want your ratings to go up, you got to stay quiet. You're proven the absence will make it better, but you need to quit talking.
Mm-hmm.
The news is next. Another half hour to go. 217-359-2255, our Fisher National Bank text line if you want to join us.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at
This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Almost Mother's Day. What to get your mom? Just another thing? Like that ceramic cat collection. Beloved. The life-size porcelain Elvis. Cherished. The singing bass that's been serenading the attic for over a decade. To that slightly terrifying clown painting. This May, give Mom the gift of space. Let 2 Men in a Junk Truck from the trusted 2 Men in a Truck family haul away all those treasures. Go online, 2meninajunktruck.com. Use code RADIO25 at checkout to save $25 on your next junk removal.
We're talking to John Reichert from A&R Mechanical. 100 years in our community. So many buildings in this town, like Memorial Stadium. Of course, the State Farm Center. Can you remember the reaction from the company getting that? Because that's a big one.
Oh, that was huge. If you just think about it a little bit, everything we put in is straight, pipe is straight. We're putting all that into a round building. And, it took a lot of know-how to make that project happen. It was one of the first projects we did using our new technologies. And the timing was just right. We were the right people for that project, and I think we did it successfully.
The legacy of A&R. John, I could almost say, what haven't you built? Up and down campus, the Siebel Center was fairly new for computer science.
Everybody was working as a team, and I think it came out very well.
A&R Mechanical has helped build Carl at the Fields expansion and other Carl projects in Provena and Sarah Bush Lincoln. The list goes on and on. Visit them at ar-mech.com.
News. I'm Therese Crowley. President Trump hosting a very big and exciting day for the U.S. and the U.K. with the first big trade deal rolling in a White House event. Excitement, too, in St. Peter's Square as crowds watch for smoke signals from the Sistine Chapel. 2 votes down today. No pope chosen yet at the Vatican conclave. Colby from Oklahoma is there.
Waiting for hours for something is so awesome to see that people are willing to do that for their faith, and I think it's really cool.
Over 80 anti-Israel protesters arrested at New York's Columbia University. The crowd surge took over the Butler Library while students were studying for finals, ignoring new rules against masks. Columbia says it won't tolerate, but waited 5 hours to call police. Its federal funding already frozen for failing to protect against anti-Semitism. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem in Springfield yesterday. She held a press conference outside the mansion of Governor Pritzker. Her office says they discussed Illinois' sanctuary policies and immigration in the state. In response to her visit, Pritzker's office responded somewhat sarcastically by releasing its own itinerary for Noem, including critical comments about several controversies involving her. A man charged in a deadly crash at a nursing home in Mattoon remains behind bars. Curtis Meadows denied pretrial release while appearing in court on multiple charges, including aggravated DUI and reckless homicide. Illinois House Education Policy Committee unanimously approving a bill to require seatbelts for all new Illinois school buses. Legislation could mandate that any school bus manufactured in the state have 3-point seatbelts starting in 2031. Sponsors say the change solely about student safety, as Democrats and Republicans want kids to come and go from school safely. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Well, good everyone. Let's check weather. Freezing Illinois, Champaign and vicinity. Cooler northeasterly wind flow. Frontal boundary down to the south. A weak disturbance along it, and perhaps a few sprinkly showers in spots from Champaign on southward for the day today. But lots of dry hours in between. A partly sunny, cooler day's worth of weather with a gusty northeast wind at 67. We'll clear it off here by this evening, and a colder overnight low down to about 40. Some upper 30s in some outlying rural areas. For the day tomorrow, sunny skies and 68 with a lighter northeast wind. Down to 42 tomorrow night. Weekend forecast into next week. Big warm-up gets going. 75 and sunshine Saturday, up near 80 on Sunday. Weak disturbance up through the Ohio could generate a stray shower late Monday to Tuesday. Readings there in the upper 70s will climb into the low to mid 80s, a pickup in humidity, and the start of a much wetter weather pattern once again getting going late next weekend beyond, so get it done while you may from a fieldwork standpoint. Next Tuesday, 77 the high, into the low to mid 80s, and showers and thunderstorms scattered across the area next Thursday and Friday. For CVG Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Well, yeah, they're sequestered.
Yeah.
The Cardinals can't do much besides eat, vote, and nap.
Yes.
Well, there's no phones, there's no telephones, there's no televisions, there's no radios, there's nothing. They're sequestered, so you pray and take a little nap, get up, vote, eat.
Yes.
Pray.
And the top age is 80. So
can't be over 80 to vote.
252 right? On this online search, 252 Cardinals out there. So many, I think it was 117, over 80. So 135 Cardinals, but 133 are sequestered now and
you
doing
need
the voting
89
process.
supporting you.
That's right.
And so then they discuss things over lunch. They don't want somebody too far to either direction. They kind of want somebody that can bring everybody together. They start saying, I'm not voting for that guy. And the other guy said, I'm not voting for your guy. And they said, okay, well, who do we have that's kind of...
And 71 different countries, including 10 from the United States in this article, 53 from Europe, 23 from Asia.
Yeah, well, Asia's pretty large.
18 in Africa, 17 in South America. That's and 17 in Italy. So a lot of people, it's all the media doing the predictions.
I mean,
and didn't you say
I mean,
you could bet on it and stuff like that?
Yeah, you can gamble on anything.
That's ridiculous.
Cardinal Timothy Dolan is the only Cardinal I know in America. He's very effervescent, very outgoing. They would never give it to an American, and if you're the best candidate, you're the best candidate. I think Timothy Dolan would reach a lot of corners with his personality, and I just like hearing him talk. But he's very, very good, I think. But again, America has too much power. We'd never give it to America. I mean, I don't think America will ever get a pope. So we'll see. Never know. We'll see who they rally behind.
They took the oath of secrecy as they were entering in. It talks about the personal security, the drivers, the cleaning crews, the doctors and nurses, and all the different behind the scenes that's happening in this process.
Yep. And then they'll come up with somebody who doesn't want it, and they'll talk them into it. That's kind of the ideal candidate. AKA George Washington really didn't want to be president of the United States, and they talked him into it. That would be my ideal. Somebody that, I'll serve my country, and then I'm getting the heck out of Dodge. I'm getting out of here. Otherwise, it's just turned into vitriol, and I think there's a lot of rot. I just think there's a lot of rot when you have a lot of money and people go there with no money, and they all leave multi-millionaires. Okay, how'd that work when you're making $150,000 a year? Half of that's going to get taxed. No, you're making deals. Anyway, Ed Martin, our friend Ed Martin, a regular Wednesday guest, or he was scheduled to be in the Office of Management and Budget, and then that switched to attorney, U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., but he needs confirmation from the Senate. There's a lot going on there with all of that. And Ed's got to get a vote either way here coming up. Otherwise, he's out. I mean, if they stall, and there's some Republicans stalling, like Tom Tillis, I understand, from North Carolina. So I don't know what's happening. I just know that if you've done something nefarious in Washington, D.C., Ed will look at it. And whatever side of the aisle you're on, Republican or Democrat, yeah. Why would you want somebody looking into something if you did something wrong? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday. And now, a brand new show called Smoke, where we help you with your grill and making the best meat ever. With award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt. Smoke in Tim's grill. He's the best brisket maker ever. Smoke in Tim's grill. And now award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt. Guy can cook a brisket like nobody's business.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect score, championship ring. He and Donna have one for the thumb, as many things as he's won, man. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm great. All this talk about the Vatican and their smoke has me knowing that they're not cooking any good barbecue with all that dirty smoke.
There you go.
You're right.
Yeah, you probably need the selection of the Pope to get that clean white smoke. Although I read it's like pyrotechnics there having a little help with all that.
Right. They have to have a certain kind of chemistry and a certain kind of thing going on to make sure they get it right on the black and the white.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what I know about black and white smoke is when I start my charcoal originally and it's cold, it'll put out black smoke.
Huh.
And then when I'm cooking, if my coal bed is not good and hot, then when I put the wood in, it'll be white smoke, and that's dirty smoke. I don't want that. I want smoke that you can see through.
I got you.
And,
all right.
That's good, clean smoke. So
what about controlling my fire? How do I?
Well, I thought to stay relevant, we talk about fire management and how not to have that black and white smoke.
Right.
And, that good friend of mine, Bill Magdalene, he is a barbecue champion like no other. He's a walking barbecue statistician. He knows who won what, how many points they've scored, all kinds of barbecue stats. He's won the Jack Daniels. He's a great guy, and he taught me about fire management. And number one is we light up our coals. We light our lump charcoal with using a tumbleweed in a chimney. And get that good and hot, and we do a couple of chimneyfuls to get a good hot coal bed down on our in our smoker to start with.
I don't use you don't use the not that I ever have. Girl Scout water?
Match light?
That's the stuff you spray on it that fire lights it right up. The Girl Scout water is what we used to call it. So.
I see.
Anyway, so
lighter fluid?
Lighter fluid.
No, that tastes bad.
Okay. Well,
lighter fluid is not an ingredient for good meat.
No, you're right.
It
smells awful.
Fire going.
It does. Well, you said tumbleweed. I didn't even know what that is. Okay,
right.
I don't know what tumbleweed is.
It's a little paraffin soaked straw that lights real easy, and it burns for about 5 or 10 minutes to get that lump charcoal burning good and hot.
Okay.
And once you get a good fire bed down there, then your wood's very important. You want good, dry wood. We use just hickory most of the time. But I get the hickory, and it's in the log splits. But I want my splits cut down to about 2 to 3 inch diameter. And then I only want them 8 to 10 inches long. The little logs that I put in there, because I want them to burn hot and quick. And if you use a bigger piece of wood, it takes longer to heat that whole piece of wood up. A little secret: we even preheat our wood a little bit. I'll keep some wood on top of the firebox on the smoker, and it gets it warm up there. It's probably 180 degrees on top of that firebox, even though it's insulated. But it'll preheat that wood and take some of any remaining moisture out of it, so that it lights good and quick and burns clean.
Now, I did an online search, Tim, and it talks about the thin blue smoke considered ideal, indicating a clean burn at the right temperature for pitmasters. But this is probably from charcoal, right?
No, that's what we're shooting at for wood too.
Okay.
Okay.
And it, some people say it's fine blue, and I say it's clear. When we're good, we can see right through that, and I can't see it very much. That's probably the number one question we get asked out in the crowd is, what kind of wood, how we're doing. I've had people walk up in the middle of a cook and say, well, when are you going to start cooking? I said, it's cooking now.
Yeah.
I said, well, there's no smoke coming out of your smoker. Well, that's because it's clean.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing when smoking meat is fire management, keeping that at the right temperature. We don't, it doesn't matter how big a fire you build. It's what your internal temperature is, and we're controlling it with the exhaust valve on the smoker, not with how much wood we're putting in there.
You're like a PhD, man. You just know you're so deep. You just know how to do this, man.
You mentioned hickory, and, you could use maple or pine or cedar or something too, right?
Yes, I like the mild flavor of a hickory. A very similar wood to that would be pecan. That's hard to get around here. You can get pecan in the South, in Georgia and Alabama, pretty easy. But it's just a mild, good smoke flavor. Of course, Texas is big on mesquite. That's a little stronger flavor. Then the fruit woods you can use on the lighter meats like fish. Some people use it with chicken. I don't. I like hickory on chicken too. But
tell you what, so you can taste somebody's result out of the smoker. You can tell because you're so finely tuned. You can tell if it was they use whatever kind of wood. Can you taste that?
A little bit, yeah. If they're using an oak, I can. That's a little more harsh. I can taste that.
Okay.
Can really taste the binder in pellets that we've talked about before. You know, they use a binder and a lot of that. I can really taste that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's Pitmaster Tim Onside. Yeah, you're
his PhD.
PhD.
Absolutely.
It's a PhD.
So Diane, you were in St. Louis for a couple of days, right?
I was, and I thought about you when I was in the the suite, and they had the brisket, and it was covered in the barbecue sauce. And you made the comment when we did that at the Cardinals game of what are they trying to cover up here?
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to ask, if they're sequestering the Cardinals, then do they just let them out to play the game, or what happens?
Right.
Oh,
Okay,
the St. Louis Cardinals versus the religious
I have
Cardinals.
got to get a special key for rim shots. I need that sound effect.
Exactly.
He just did. All right, so Tim, what can you tell me about Dedicated Diesel and Dixie Chopper?
Well, Dedicated Diesel is doing great guns. We've got some Dixie choppers there. Andy's ready to make a deal. Get rid of these things and get your grass mowed. World's fastest mower, and there's some of them that should be used mowing right now. The grass is growing huge right now, growing fast. You're going to have a fast mower to keep up with it.
And might have to do it twice a week the way this is going.
Yeah. It's cut into some of my other activities, but we got to mow.
All right, so what about Gail Frericks Trucking? You looking for a good driver?
We've got one spot left. I'm on my way to Urbana right now to do orientation with Sam, new guy that called up. He'd listened to the show last week and heard it and wanted to give it a shot. And he came in. He asked me about the $4,000 sign-on bonus, but he was actually late on that. And he said, I'm coming anyway. I want to work with you guys. After talking to us for about half an hour, and I went back and had a conversation with Donna, and we said, we're going to make this right. We'll go half on it with him. So,
awesome.
So even though he missed the deadline, we went in and got him half of that bonus, and we're going to get some orientation done today and get him out on the road.
Well, that's so
morning.
good. So great. I'm so glad he heard it. Truckers being home on the weekends is kind of special. And the fact that you treat them like family and you feel like Gail Frericks Trucking is a family company for sure. So.
Yep. It's all about the people and good relationships, and that's what we're trying to do.
Tim, how can people connect with you?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com. My office number is 765-793-7131.
Hey, always a pleasure, Tim. Always a pleasure. Thank you for jumping on, Mr. Pitmaster.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Have a great Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Diane.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
that.
Same to Donna.
Attention drivers. When it comes to your car, trust matters. That's why savvy drivers choose PDR Automotive for top-notch service and unbeatable quality. From routine maintenance to complex repairs, their team of expert technicians has the skill and experience to keep your vehicle running smoothly. At PDR Automotive, customer satisfaction is their priority, and they won't rest until your car is back on the road performing at its best. Visit PDR Automotive in Urbana today, family owned and operated for more than 50 years. They're what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
What is most important in your life? This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that can help clients like you realize your goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
It's Keristan Extra Discount Days through Sunday only at Carpet Weavers. Save on beautiful Keristan carpets and floors with rebates up to $1,000. Plus, get a bonus free labor credit on every carpet and floor. A $50 instant labor credit for every 100 square feet of floors purchased. Plus, instant rebates on all furniture. Save $250 on every $1,000 you spend. All with free financing for 2 years. Through Sunday only. Keristan Extra Discount Days at Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. Invest in yourself with free rewards checking from Fisher National Bank. Instead of losing a little each month in fees, wouldn't it be nice to earn on your money? Switch to Fisher National, offering excellent annual percentage yields with no service fees or minimum balance. Make 12 debit card purchases, receive electronic statements, and have one direct deposit a month. It's as easy as that to maximize on your money with a bank ready to invest in you. Learn more at FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people, member FDIC.
Well, I tell you what, though, A&R has been such an amazing, impactful company. Your grandfather, your dad, you've all gone through stuff. And your secret is what, John?
Well, I mean, you have to trust that you're doing the right thing, first of all, and you got to surround yourself with good people. And I think over the years we've had some really good people that have been part of A&R, and we owe a lot of our success, if not all of it, to those people.
Neil, you could say A&R has built a great part of Champaign-Urbana. It's about people. Can you explain the culture, why people would want to work at A&R?
We've had several families where we've gone even 3 generations, and these guys are long-term employees. They want to stay with us, and it's rewarding to know that they want to be with us. We have their backs. They have our backs, and that's a unique perspective, I think, from anybody this day and age.
I'm positive because you're such a solid company. A&R Mechanical, a thriving leader 100 years later.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Florida, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. And a cold front has made its presence felt across the area. A little overrunning disturbance and moisture. Generating a couple of spotty showers from Champaign on southward for the day today primarily. Otherwise, clear sailing for the end part of the week. A warm up for the weekend. Signs of an increasingly warmer, more humid, and wetter weather pattern. Once again, getting going later next week and beyond. So get it done while you may, where you can, the best you can. Partly sunny for the day today. Cooler. Slim chance for a stray shower. Could be even an isolated thunderstorm this afternoon. From Champaign on southward up to 67. Clear tonight and colder lows 38 to 42. For the day tomorrow, sunny skies and 68 with a light northeast wind. Weekend forecast, sunny, milder 75 on Saturday. Highs nearing 80 on Sunday. Up to 78 on Monday. Late Monday to Tuesday could be a stray shower across the area. Upper 70s on Tuesday. Highs climbing into the lower and middle 80s next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Showers and thunderstorms back in late next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Underground Solutions. Are you tired of dealing with leaky faucets, basement flooding, bursting or leaking pipes? From plumbing maintenance and repairs to installing new water heaters and sump pumps, our goal is to get you up and running as soon as possible. At Lands Plumbing, we have 24/7 emergency service and a team of highly skilled professionals that will work with you to get the job done right the first time. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Alrighty, it is 8:52, the drive this afternoon. That'll be Derek Piper. I think Lon has a baseball game today.
Okay.
And then Kyle Tosk. That'll be this afternoon after 3 o'clock. All the latest. We're kind of in a little bit of a lull from the standpoint of basketball news and football news. Things will pick up before we know it. Yeah, it's graduation weekend this weekend.
Yes.
So all the graduations, not only the main one, with Robert Jones, the former chancellor of the university, now the president of Washington.
Yes.
Who said he was going to retire, but couldn't pass the presidency.
Right.
And he's 70-something.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's this weekend. So welcome all our guests and friends, as there'll be a zillion people in town.
That's right.
Then it's going to be move-out day, and then you can drive down 4th Street again.
Uh-huh.
So, and you go down 4th Street. You know what? I've just, and it's okay. But we're talking about, I'd say, 80% of campus are they're deaf.
Yeah. They've got earbuds.
They got everything,
earbuds
headsets,
in.
earbuds. So, and it's blaring. They're not hearing anything. Isn't that kind of dangerous? You can't really ride a bike with earpods, can you?
Right.
I mean, it just, when you're driving, you just really got to be alert.
Got to pay attention.
Because if you say, okay, I'm driving on a deaf campus, they don't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. They don't hear you. So you have to really watch out for them and the crosswalks and everything else. But it's kind of a stunning new last decade phenomena that the campus is deaf.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? They're deaf. They can't hear your vehicle. They can't hear a motorcycle.
Because they're entertaining themselves.
They got
normally
earbuds,
music,
yeah,
but it could be
right. Remember it was the good old days. I put the boombox on my shoulder. Yeah, I could hear out
And
of my
everybody
left.
around you hears it.
Yeah, that's right, because I had good music. Get a little James Taylor going. Turn that up.
Okay.
I get a little Billy Joel. And the Carpenters. Oh, they had some good ones. Yeah.
Man, I just want to thank you for that experience yesterday at Busch Stadium at the Cardinals affiliate party. I'm just reviewing some of the pictures and some of the swag. And, we got this Cardinals Radio Network jacket and
umbrella?
a golf umbrella and a bobblehead of Alec Burleson.
There wouldn't be anybody else we'd want to represent. You're not afraid to say hi.
Right.
Go ahead, Diane. Go mix it up a little bit. Go talk to that person.
Met a lot of fun radio and TV broadcasters and just had a blast.
Well, glad you could go. Glad your friend enjoyed it as well.
Yes, Jennifer Silver Peterson, who's a Unity and EIU grad, and we nonstop talking from the moment I hopped in the car.
Thank you for representing. All right, we'll meet tomorrow.
Enjoy the day.
It'll be Friday already tomorrow.
I know.
All right, that's Diane Ducey. I'm Stevie J. Have a great Thursday.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Well, tell me, Tim Onstadt, how is it going at Gale Frericks Trucking?
Oh, we're busy. We're going gangbusters. We've got a new driver going through orientation. That leaves us one spot left for somebody that wants to get in on the action and make some money, be home, get some quality time. It's a great opportunity.
And the type of person you like hiring?
Honesty, integrity, like everybody else is looking for. That guy that wants to have a family life, but be able to make some good money and do the right things.
Are you looking for experienced drivers? And if they have a military background and things like that, that's always an asset.
We do need some experience. Of course, we like getting the guys 15 years in that know what they're doing, maybe have been treated bad by other companies and need a place looking for a home. If somebody has the basics, maybe a year and a half, has a military background, I'll count that as some experience because they're used to following the process. Oh, you can always email me at timo@gftlog.com.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. It's hard to describe. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
At F&B Wealth Management, it's not just about numbers, it's about people and communities. Hi, I'm Ryan Heiser, President and CEO of Fisher National Bank and F&B Wealth Management. Our team is united by a shared passion for helping you achieve your financial goals. We are equipped and eager to work together to craft personalized financial solutions just for you, including retirement planning, risk management through life insurance, long-term care insurance planning, and investment advisory services. Together, we will celebrate milestones, navigate life's transitions, and build a financial future that reflects your values. Experience the difference of a team that truly cares. Visit investwithfnb.com to learn more about dedicated advisors and start your journey toward a financial confidence today.
F&B Wealth Management is a division of Fisher National Bank. F&B securities are not insured by the FDIC, not a deposit or other obligation of or guaranteed by the depository institution, subject to investment risks, including possible loss of the principal amount invested. Securities, insurance, and investment advisory services are offered through Midwestern Securities Trading Company, LLC, MSTC, member FINRA, SIPC, MSTC, and F&B are not affiliated.
F&B Wealth Management, supporting exceptional communities full of exceptional people.
Racing, racing, racing! Farmer City Raceway is your local award-winning dirt track with exciting Friday night lights illuminating the late models and modifieds going for the checkered flag for the win. Make arrangements to get in on the camping with great price points for pit passes and young fans, as well as veterans. Friday nights, the hot laps start at 6:30, then qualifying and racing action. Don't miss out on the fun at Farmer City Raceway. For details, visit farmercityracing.com. You'll buy the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information including repair quotes and online scheduling requests available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR. Sarah Champagne's Ben Quattrone on keeping his employees.
It's got to be the place to work. We have to pay the best. We have to treat people the best. Some of the guys wanted to order pizza the other day. Well, we bought 30 Papa Del's pizzas. BMW had the best month they've ever had. They said, can we have a cookout? Saturday, I cooked like 50 ribeye steaks. And they were expecting like cheese, burgers and hot dogs and stuff. Like,